thanks for tuning back into the channel. If you watched my last video, you know this video here is about finishing up this bushing install and doing a little bit of modifications for my new springs with drag bags. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so another thing I'm doing is I'm changing the bushings in my end link. Just show you guys, I just got a punch and a hammer, and there's a little metal collar inside of here. We're just going to knock that out. Then we're going to take our screw and we're going to knock our screwdriver through. Now it's poking out the other side. Just take it. Make sure your vise is tight. Just take it and just pull it through. Boom, bushing out. Now we'll lube up the new bushing and put it in. And once you get the lip in, just pushes through. A little grease on our metal bushing. Move it up a little. Slide it in the middle. Voila. And there you have it. Upgraded sway bar end link bushings. Put this back on the car. So for our last and final bushing upgrade, we're going to do our sway bar bushings. And after you drop the rear cradle, which you have to do for this, is two 13mm bolts, and these come out. And this is pretty simple piece here. You just take your metal caps off. Bushing's got a cut in it. Just take the bushing off like that. Throw the old one away. There's one. Put your sway bar back on. Because of its location, throw a little Loctite on the threads there. Make sure it doesn't come loose, because if it does, and you can't get to it, that's gonna suck. Just like that, our sway bar bushings are in, and we'll wait to hook it up to the end links till we get this rear cradle back in the car. Control arms are a little drooped right now, so once we get the cradle lined up and it bolted down here, and then we can lift this up and put our shocks back on it, and that'll pick the cradle up, and the axles won't be at such a crazy angle and everything, and our end links won't hit our tie rod ends, and then we can hook up the sway bar with these. So that's it. That's a full bushing upgrade. Alright, so now that we have the end link bushings and the sway bar bushings upgraded, the next thing we need to address is getting this vehicle ready for these new springs with drag bags. If you're only changing springs, you can do that without taking any of this stuff out of the car. Take the old spring out, put the new spring in. It's a pretty simple procedure. But since we already have the whole rear end out and we are in drag bags, there's a couple of things that I feel like I want to address just to help ensure longevity of my suspension components. So if you look here, I have the rubber protector back on the control arm for the spring to ride on. Now, I have a GoPro down here to give you a better angle. If I take this off, which I've already cut this with a razor blade, you'll see that the spring perch itself is significantly lower. Now, if I put the spring on this perch, you'll see that the drag bag still kind of touches it. And we really don't need all that much. So what I'm gonna do is cut off probably ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, trim this boot down, put it back on top, and then my spring will ride in there with no clearance issues. Alright, so now we've got this spring perch modified, and I put this just little rubber cap back on here. This rubber cap adds about ½ inch, so I might take that out down the road, but right now I don't really feel that I need to. But if I put this spring back on here on this perch, and I got the GoPro going, you can see there is actually clearance between the bag and that rubber protector now. If I notice down the road that the bag has maybe some wear marks on it, and I'm getting a little concerned about it, I might take this off, because that'll give me about an extra ½ inch clearance. Alright, so we're on the car side of things here, and we will have to add this piece here, and it's reinforced on the inside later. But We want to run the airline through this centerpiece, and it'll come out this hole right here, which is already on the car. But the airline is just a little bit too big to fit through that hole right now. So we're just going to go ahead and drill that out and route that around, and then we will modify this piece and go from there. So now that that hole is just a little bit bigger, we'll be able to fit this airline in. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is modify this for the spring perch inside the car, since this is reinforced and does stop the spring from moving around on the car. Airline should be able to run all the way through that and come out on the other side, and we will have to modify one of these to allow the airline to come out. So now that I have the hole lined up on this, when I put it on top of the spring, it does go over that inlet pretty well. I have to put one of these over the hose to make sure that it clamps down, and I want all of that to be able to fit kind of up inside of here. So what we're going to do, now that we have a larger hole with a couple of small slits, once we put this clamp on there, it'll be able to go down in this hole just like so, and keep a nice tight clamp. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm trying to keep them shorter, so I'm breaking this down, like I said, into a 3-part series. So tune back in for the next part where we put this whole rear cradle back in the car, button everything up, and I show you how to use the rear subframe alignment tool, and we get the wheels back on this car and we get this thing back on the ground. But like, share, comment, subscribe. Again, thanks for tuning in. Hit that little bell so you know when part 3 comes out. And I appreciate it, guys. Stay safe and God bless you.